Hello and welcome to Larry's Topics. Today we're going to discuss more ghostly encounters I experienced that unfortunately I wasn't able to record anything of. And I live in Mauston, Wisconsin. At the time we lived in Mauston, Wisconsin, and we lived in a house. I think it was 517 or 415 East Lemonware Street, and it was really, really crazy living there. Of course, I'm going to tell you why. Well, within the first uh, week or so we were living there, we didn't really notice anything, nothing major. You know, some stuff we thought we'd put in certain places, wound up in other places. You know, we could swear we'd put it here and then it wound up over there, but we ignored it. And then, it was really cool because we had a garage, and plus a garage, we had a carport, attached to the garage. So you could park a car in the garage and, a car in a carport. Anyhow, out in the garage, there were these, letter stencils, and they were in the package unopened, and us kids didn't know about it because they were up top, and we weren't little, but we were a little old enough where we couldn't reach the top of the shelf, let alone see it. And my dad knew about them, but he didn't say nothing about them. And trust me, there's a point to this. We were in the house, and at one point, this is before what really messed up happened. We were at the top of the stairs. To the right, there was a storage space, and we were putting boxes in it, for storage, right? And then we were in there, nothing. We went into the second one, which was on the other side, a little more further in through the walk area, or walkway of the, I guess you'd call it a makeshift hallway, to the right. We were putting stuff in there. And there was flooring in that, and above you had basically skeletal frame, of boards hanging down, and that, and of course we had put boxes in that side too, and there was nothing in the storage space, right? Well, a couple days later, we were bringing in more boxes, and we come into the storage space, and I called my dad, and my dad comes in. I was like, "You're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this." And there wasn't there, but you come in, and it was the third support beam on your left that's to the ceiling of the storage space, and in gold paint stenciled out was the name Karen. And it wasn't like regular gold paint, it was the model paint, the real fancy stuff for people would use on miniatures and that. Well, we found the stencils, Karen, and then we found the paintbrush, and then we found the gold paint. And Dad starts yelling at me. Which one of you kids were in the garage? And I was like, we've all been in the garage. Well, who was on the top shelf and took these off? And I was like, nobody. What do you mean the top shelf? And he's like, these were on the top shelf in the garage. And I was like, Dad, we didn't even know about it. So why would we have gotten into them? Because, we never saw them, so we didn't know they existed. And he's like, huh. And we're looking at the name and then gold stenciling, and it said Karen, of course. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Well, a couple weeks later, we're in the storage space, and like I said, there was nothing in there when we moved in. It was completely empty. You could walk through there and you didn't find nothing. Well, that's when it got really weird. We found, I think it was a 60s or it was either a 60s or 70s yearbook for, I think, Mauston School. I'm not sure. But, we're going through and through, and we had no idea where it came from. I showed my mom. My mom's like, where'd you find that? And we're like, in the storage space. And my mom had been in there too. And she's like, what one? And we told her it was the one to the right when you come around the banister. And she's like, there was nothing in there. I was like, I know. We just found it. Seriously. It just like magically appeared. We didn't know about it. It wasn't there. But all of a sudden, it was there. Well, we're going through it, and I'm like, let's put two and two together. There's a yearbook that magically appears, and we, not too long ago, there's golden stenciled name Karen. So we look through the whole yearbook, and we find Karen. Now here's the kicker. The day the pictures were taken, she wasn't there. It just said Karen, and I can't remember her last name, and it said no picture available. So we don't know what she looked like or anything. And the weirdness just got weirder from there. We took in... We noticed stuff happening, and we noticed us kids weren't home. We were gone with our parents. Nobody was in the house. We come back, the upstairs from the two storage rooms are wide open, and there's clothes and toys and boxes everywhere. And something had upset Karen, and she apparently, because that's what we started saying, it was Karen, because my parents knew we weren't home. We were at school, and our parents weren't home all day, but stuff was all over. So we figured Karen had a temper tantrum. That's what Mom and Dad called it. She must have had a temper tantrum. And my dad politely yelled up the stairs, it's fine, you have your temper tantrum. We don't care. You can throw all the stuff out you want. We don't care. But when you're done, will you please put everything back where you found it? And ironically, after us kids and my dad and Mom picked everything up and put it back in the storage space, whenever she'd have a hissy fit, after Dad had said that, anytime she'd have one, we'd hear boxes and stuff slamming around and that. And we'd have friends and family over, and they'd hear it. And they'd be like, "What's that noise? Who's upstairs?" And Mom and Dad would be like, "It's Karen, the ghost. She's having a temper tantrum." Well, you'd go upstairs after the temper tantrum was over, like right afterwards. There'd be stuff all over. But you shut the door and ignored it, and about an hour or two later, everything was as it was supposed to be. Clothes were folded up and put in boxes. Toys were piled in their boxes and put away. Everything was as it should be. Well, it was funny because my cousin Cindy and her kids wound up coming to stay with us for a while. She stayed in one of the rooms, and me, my sisters, and all the kids were outside. We're playing. None of us are in the house. Well, Karen was having a hissy fit, and we were assuming it was because there was too many people in the house. And my cousin's kids were wild childs. And she was having a hissy fit, and my cousin Cindy heard the noise upstairs of Karen having a hissy fit. And Karen's throwing stuff out of the storage room. Remind you, nobody's in the house. All of us kids are outside. My cousin Cindy didn't believe in ghosts at all. I literally came in to go to the bathroom. I came through the front door, and I was coming through the doorway of the little entrance into the house. As I was coming in, I saw Cindy come out, grab the door handle to the upstairs, open the door, thinking that there's kids up there, and she starts yelling. She said, "You little so-and-sos, keep raising heck up here. I'm going to come upstairs and whoop ya." That's the polite way, but that's not how she said it. But for YouTube, I'll do it that way. And literally, she gets done saying it as I'm walking further into the living room. A box of toys comes out of the storage unit by itself and flies down the stairs. She literally slams the door just before the box of toys hits her. She's like, "What was that?" I was like, "That's Karen." She's like, "Karen?" I was like, "She's a ghost." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Apparently she lived here at one point. Apparently she had died, and she's stayed here ever since. And she has moments where she has hissy fits, and she throws stuff out of the storage rooms, and after she's had time, freaks out and then has time to calm down, she puts everything back the way it's supposed to be." So my cousin Cindy, she's like, "I didn't believe in ghosts. I thought they were crap. Just stuff people made to tell stories." I was like, "No, she's real." And she's like, "I can see that." She was totally freaked out. Trust me, I'm mellowing it compared to her, how badly she was freaked out. We had encountered stuff with Karen a lot of the time. And my sister had a bicycle accident. She was young, but she was lanky and skinny. And she was trying to ride a 10 speed. And they had redid a spot in the road, so there was gravel, and when she hit the gravel, the bike wiped out, and she hit her head in that. Well, my sister had to stay home in that for like 2 weeks because she had what was called her head, the skull itself, they called it an eggshell skull because it was so fragile. A hard enough blow could seriously hurt her. Well, while she was home, she would be upstairs playing Barbies. And this happened on many occasions. My mom and dad would hear her talking and that, and they'd get upstairs quietly, and they'd look. She wouldn't have the door shut all the way, and they would see my sister playing with Barbies, and she would see other Barbies moving on their own, like someone was holding them. The minute they'd open the door, the Barbies would drop to the floor. Every time. I myself seen it. I came in to check on her. She was playing Barbies. My sisters like to take and steal my action figures because, they're bigger, buffer, and that. And they would play with them. And, I'd come in and I'd see my Superman, my He-Man, whatnot, playing on being held up on their own, moving around like someone was moving them and that. And the minute I'd open the door all the way, they'd drop to the floor every time. Do I believe in ghosts? Most definitely. Have I seen some stuff? Most definitely. I have some more stories if you want to listen. But this has been Larry's Topics. Thank you. God bless. Stay well. Stay safe. And if you like this, like it, subscribe, share it. It'd really help out. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.